Welcome to the third DFMie Awards, honoring the best work being done by all the properties around digital first media. Once again, these awards for November reflect a wide range of work that we've done really across the country, focusing on strong breaking news coverage, community service, many charitable events around the holidays, and a very innovative entrepreneurial effort out of Denver to produce a new product that will be good for our consumers and hopefully for our advertisers. So without further ado, let's go through the winners for this month. The winner in the Northeast is the staff from the Sentinel and Enterprise in Fitchburg, which includes reporter Michael Hartwell, reporter Katina Karaganis, and photographer-videographer John Love for their coverage of a 5-alarm fire that ravaged a hotel, leaving 30 people homeless and affecting 8 small businesses. The story was covered incredibly well by Fitchburg, but the other piece of the story that made it interesting was one of the businesses that was destroyed was one of their own bureaus. And any time a newsroom has to cover a story that takes a personal toll as well, it makes the story that much more complicated. And through it all, the professionalism and the effort going really through the night to cover this story was really phenomenal, and the judges recognized that work. One of the interesting things in terms of everybody at the company always being able to help in the case of a breaking news story, it actually turns out that the advertising administrator for Fitchburg, their 13-year-old daughter actually took a picture that ran on A1 of the paper the next day. So we will take help from any and all quarters, including the children of company employees. So for this work, Fitchburg is the DFMie winner for November.
We were honored to be recognized by our DFM colleagues for our coverage of the Columbia Hotel building fire on November 24th on a Saturday night. We not only lost a landmark in downtown Leominster, one of our chief communities, but we also lost our Leominster Bureau in the process. A lot of people to thank, so let's run it down. All the way from Mark O'Neill, our publisher, who approved an extra run of the newspaper that night because the presses had already finished for our Sunday paper, and he okayed that immediately. On down to Erin Connery, 13 years old, daughter of our advertising administrator, Holly Connery, who took the photograph on her smartphone that ran on our front page of that extra edition Sunday. And a lot of people in between. Dennis West, our circulation director, who made sure that the extra run got in the right hands. The copy desk in Lowell, at the Lowell Sun, which got up the breaking news that beat our competition, and then put out the extra edition for us. And those folks are Bruce Phillips, Dan O'Brien, and reporter Rob Mills. Our reporting staff, Michael Hartwell was the first on the scene for us. He was tweeting almost immediately, being there, and those tweets were actually used to improve the breaking news. Katina Karaganis got to the scene and did the same thing. Jack Minch did follow-ups, as well as Nick Mallard, one of our sports reporters. And John Love, who's taking this video, did all of our video and photographs in photo slideshows that not only on Sunday but days following. It's a story that we're continuing to cover. And the big takeaway for us was that I didn't have to waste time convincing people to do the right thing. They all just did it, and they knew it was a job that they had to do, and that was the most gratifying thing for me.
And in the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, West Virginia cluster, the winner for this month is Patty Mengers from the Delco Times for a story on a group of kids at Lansdowne Library that made a video to promote reading among young people. What made this video interesting was that it was done, it was called Read It, and it was done basically as a knockoff of Michael Jackson's song Beat It. Despite the fact this was to promote reading and was obviously done for positive charitable reasons, Sony Music, which owns the rights to Michael Jackson's estate, did not see it that way and asked for the video to be removed from YouTube, and were generally threatening about the fact that they were using a parody of the song. So the Delco Times went to bat for the students in this library, started writing about this, and thankfully Sony Music backed off. The video was put back up, and the Read It campaign for the Lansdowne Library moves on. So for standing up for a group that otherwise would not have had a voice and for getting a short-sighted large corporation to back off of a silly fight. The winner for November is Patty Menger. The fire's in their hands and the words are really clear, so read it, just read it.
Basically all we did was we took those kids' voice, we took the video that they created, we posted that on delcotimes.com, we did a video of our own, and we also did something else that's very important. We used the editorial voice of the paper in 2 different occasions, editorials that Patty penned as a member of the editorial board, to shed light on the situation and say that we as a newspaper and as a website were certainly going to be firmly entrenched in the camp of anyone, especially young people, coming out in favor of reading.
The way this unfolded was rather quickly. All the elements fell into place a lot faster than other stories I've done in my almost 40 years as a reporter, where it's taken months, years sometimes. In this case, in a matter of about 12 hours, we had the situation turned around.
In the Midwest, the winner for November is the staff from the Pioneer Press in St. Paul, which includes reporter Maya Beckstrom, database editor and reporter Mary Jo Webster, deputy editor Jen Westfall, and intern Kelsey Sheriff, for creating an interactive application for family outings. This is a great example of taking columns that have been written for years and figuring out a way to modernize them and make them relevant for a whole new generation of readers. This is a column that's been written for many, many years that writes about different family outings to do in the Twin Cities area. But if you don't happen to catch the column in the week that you're going somewhere, you might have missed a really good opportunity to go someplace. So by taking all of the columns and mapping them out, we basically brought all those columns back up to date and made a terrific application for readers in the Twin City areas to be able to find things to do without having to page through hundreds of columns over the past couple of years to find information on it. So for being able to take something and making it relevant for a whole new generation of readers, the winner for this month is St. Paul.
I'm Maya Beckstrom, a reporter with the St. Paul Pioneer Press. I've been writing family outings columns about fun things to do in the Twin Cities since 2006. And last year I asked our database editor, Mary Jo Webster, if there would be a way to put them onto a map so parents could search for them. She introduced me to Google Fusion tables. I got some help from Jennifer Westfall, our deputy editor for digital news and social media, and an intern, Kelsey Sharif, to build a spreadsheet that ended up being the basis of the map. I wanted readers to be able to search for activities that would best suit their family. I came up with categories like romp indoors, get geeky, learn some history, see animals, and a few others. The spreadsheet also includes categories for each item, like age appropriateness and cost, as well as an address, website, and phone number, and a link to my story. Since we wanted a fairly sophisticated search option, we had to go beyond basic Google Fusion table. Mary Jo found a template using jQuery that a programmer in Chicago built and makes available for others. It comes with directions to tweak the code to work with your application, and it also includes CSS styling, so it makes for a beautiful, clean-looking map without hard work on your end. Once Mary Jo figured out the programming, it only took a couple days to pull it together. She wrote up some additional directions for using the template, and you can find them here.
In Colorado, Utah, the winner for November is the staff of the Denver Post, including editor for public policy and online projects Steve McMillan, graphic artist Tom McKay, and lead designer Jeff Newman for developing a comprehensive iPad app to Colorado's high country resorts. This was a great idea that came out of a brainstorming session where everybody decided, why would we not take the ski guide that we would normally do in print and put it on an iPad. iPad is obviously picking up adoption in ways that none of us really projected. In fact, in December, 2 DFM properties actually got more traffic on mobile than they got from their web. So you can see that the world is moving mobile, and to do that we have to find ways to take our traditional products and get them on mobile too. And the ski guide is a gorgeous application that you can find obviously on the iPad and put in your newsstand. And you can see that this is the model for what we can do. We can take special sections that we've normally done only in print and maybe done on the web and develop them for a whole new generation where the layout can look similar to print, the functionality can be similar, and we can get the advertising we've gotten in the past. So for thinking outside the box and coming up with the great idea that's already being replicated by other parts of the company, the award goes to the Denver Post. And I would also say that based on the video you're about to see, the Oscar for Best Performance in a DFMie video will have to be shared 3 ways.
Yo, dudes, I think everybody in the world wants to come ride on our Colorado powder.
Yeah, dude, we could help them out.
We could write a guidebook or something.
No way, dude. Nobody reads a book.
Yeah, that's true, dude. Hey, what if we made an interactive ebook? That'd be cool.
Righteous.
Yeah, and we can include every ski area in Colorado.
Yeah, and we could include other junk too, like where to get a brew in the ski areas and other stuff to do in the snow besides skiing.
Let's do it. Tom could figure out the software and make it work. Jeff could create an awesome design. And me, Steve, I could run down the stories and photos.
Righteous. And here it is.
Cool. Download the Denver Post Ski Guide for your iPad on the App Store.
Major props to managing editor for visuals, Damon Kane.
And all the writers and photogs at the Post.
Righteous.
In Tex-Mex, the winner for this month is Chris Roberts from the El Paso Times for documenting how the VA bureaucracy got in the way of an innovative program for homeless veterans despite the Obama administration's pledge to end veteran homelessness by 2015. A classic piece of hard-nosed investigative reporting that basically told a story that needed to be told, that there are homeless veterans that have not been able to get off of the streets because of a lot of red tape and a lot of barriers thrown in front of them by the oh-so-familiar oh-so-familiar culprit of government bureaucracy. So for sticking to the story and actually getting results by producing it, Chris Roberts is the winner for this month. And we should also note that Chris, since he won this award, has accepted the editor job at the Farmington Daily Times. So congratulations to Chris on his new job, and we know you'll bring the exact same journalistic rigor to that job that you brought to your excellent career at the El Paso Times.
Hi, this is Chris Roberts. I was working as a reporter at the El Paso Times when I won this award, and I want to thank Bob Moore for giving me the time and support to do it. This has a high outrage factor. It's about VA bureaucracy. There was a group that had formulated a plan to get most of El Paso's homeless vets off the street. VA originally supported the plan, but ultimately this group spent $100,000 over a year trying to please them, and the city in the meantime had approved the place for both either a hotel and a restaurant. And ultimately VA canceled this group's contract. The only comment I could get from VA was about just boilerplates about how they support community involvement. And there will be a follow on this because I did a FOIA for the emails of the officials involved. Thank you.
The winner for this month in Lang is Doug Saunders from the San Bernardino County Sun for his reporting on the arrest of 4 Inland Empire men who had plotted for months to join Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Classic example of somebody owning a story right from the start. Despite the fact that the paper had already gone to bed and this happened in the wee hours, Doug stayed on the story. He was the first to have it. He worked tirelessly throughout the night, through the next day, and for subsequent days to lead basically everybody on what was happening in this very important story. And the classic example of not worrying too much about getting things in print. It was getting it on whatever platform was available at the time the story broke, and for pursuing this aggressively and getting the information out in all possible ways to the community. The winner for November in Lang is Doug Saunders.
My name is Doug Saunders. I'm a breaking news reporter with the Los Angeles News Group. On November 19th, we broke a national story about the FBI arresting 4 Americans plotting to join Al-Qaeda and kill Americans overseas. We got it online, beating every other news agency in the area, telling our readers exactly what was going on. The following day, we launched an aggressive coverage of this national story. We used Twitter, Storify, video, photo galleries, and every resource we could find. To follow up, we used sources through the Pentagon to find out the one in Afghanistan was arrested by Special Forces units in conjunction with the FBI.
And the winner in Bang for this month is Kat Rowlands and Lee Poitinger from Bang East Bay and San Jose Mercury News for their excellent efforts in upgrading the Mercury News' Wish Book and the East Bay's Share the Spirit giving programs. These are 2 historic holiday giving programs that have been run by the Bay Area newspapers, and both were in need of a little bit of a reboot this year. There were 3 issues that needed to be addressed. The East Bay stories were not human enough, they weren't played well enough, and there was no online contribution mechanism available. So by fixing those issues and updating these giving programs for a new era. Lee and Kat are the winners for November.
Share the Spirit is a feature that we put together every year in collaboration with a local volunteer agency that highlights groups that get donations and bring aid to people who need it. It gives us a great chance to do some good storytelling. Writers get to go out and interview families that are benefiting from the program. And when we put it into the paper and onto our websites, readers have a really easy way to connect and then figure out how to help. They can just click in order to donate securely through the website, which makes it easy for them. And it's a nice display feature that we can put prominently on either A1 or the front of our local section in print.
It's a really great project because our community loves it. We get tons of feedback from people. It's really kind of a goodwill effort on our part, and really helps us be involved in the community, so that's great. And I'd also like to thank everybody at the Mercury News. It was definitely a team effort. There were 20 plus reporters, 3 photographers, photo editor, copy editor, designers. They all made it happen, and definitely the editors too for giving it great play in print and online. So thanks again.
And the winner in NorCal for November is Jennifer Poole from the Willits News for uncovering the poor financial management of the Willits Unified School District bond. We should also note this is the first weekly winner of a DFMie, so congratulations to Willits and Jennifer for this win. Since late October, the Willits News reporter Jennifer Poole has been tenaciously uncovering poor financial management in the Willits Unified School District. She actually uncovered a $5 million bond balloon payment due in 2014 that the school administration said they were unaware of. This has led to subsequent reporting that has, to say the least, has had a pretty significant effect on the Willits School Board. It has led one member to resign and has just made them address this issue head on that they had not, obviously didn't even know about and wouldn't know about today if not for Jennifer. So thanks to her efforts and uncovering something that even the government itself did not seem to know about, Jennifer is this month's winner of the DFMie, and again, our first weekly award winner. Congratulations.
People in town ask me, how could this have happened? How could the district office fail to budget for a nearly $5 million payment? How could the school board have agreed to sell these exotic and expensive school bonds without asking how much it would cost taxpayers to repay them? How could anyone in July 2010, when real estate values were plunging, sign on to a payback agreement that assumed a 4% increase in property values every year? People also ask me, do you think somebody was bribed? There's no evidence for that. The best explanation I can come up with so far is that the school board blindly relied on the professionals, including the former district superintendent and outside financial consultants. School board members and reporters need to ask questions, even when it's uncomfortable. Thank you.
And one note to close, all of you who are lucky enough to win this month also are lucky enough to judge next month's DFMie. So, and the process has already begun, and we look forward to your contributions there. Really appreciate the fact that those who win these awards are able to give some time to help pick the next set of winners as well. It keeps the judging on the hands of different people. It allows people with different backgrounds and different geographic locations to weigh in on what's really working and what's being done well around the company. So thank you for the efforts, and we will see you with December winners shortly.